Okay, so we are back with my special guest today, second time on the show, Miss Tasha Graham. Welcome. Hey, girl, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing fabulous. So, you have a lot on your plate. The last time we spoke, you were putting plays together. And so tell us a little bit about what you do for our audience, the new people that haven't seen you before. Uh,
Well, like you said, I'm a playwright, director, producer. Now
yes,
I'm doing short film. So
nice.
I just put we shot a short film last September. So we're about to do the screening of it in March. And then I'm gonna do a second screening in LA in April.
Nice.
Called The Odd Couple. I just took my twist of the Odd Couple show and made it my own. I mean,
Yes, I
and
love it.
it's fun. I have Tanya Renee Banks from The Little Women of LA. I have Chaz Hasman, officially dope of Death Row Records. He's new artist coming out. Y'all gonna be hearing all about him because he's already blowing up a little bit. Um,
Wow.
and just doing that and doing my actors boot camp because the last time I talked to you, I moved to Hemet. So I
Nice.
bought a house and moved out there. So now I'm establishing doing plays at the Hemet Historical Theater.
Nice.
And I'm doing my actors boot camp out there. So
Nice. Well, I saw your Actors Boot Camp promotion, and I will post that up in the show as well as as for the outro. I'll put that information. But tell us what inspired you to start your playwright.
I don't wasn't inspired. I write poetry. So when I moved out here, I was doing open mic stuff.
Mhm.
And then I met Exhibit and Tracy Morgan and all those people. And they were like, you can make money. They buy scripts. And I didn't know nothing about that.
Mhm.
So I wrote my first script, The Conversation, because that's the poem I was doing. And I gave it characters, I brought it to life, and all my poems are based off of my true story or something I'm going through. So
Yes.
all my plays are based off of that. So all my plays come from a poem.
Yes. Wow.
So,
Wow. So that's your inspiration. That's what bridges the gap between your poetry, I guess,
right.
and
So
playwright.
right, right. So whatever I was going through or be going through, I write it in a poem. And then later on, I kind of just bring it to life, give it characters, and then and so everything is partial true.
Okay.
for entertainment purposes, if I make it too sad, nobody gonna want to come to your place. Then Tasha, everybody just crying at your place. Nobody want to hear this mess. So I have to add some entertainment, some
Yeah,
funny, some. I love music in my stuff, so it's always music. Is always a dance scene. It's always that in it. I just think it makes it better. And that's basically my inspiration is just
wow.
going through what I go through, and I put it in a poem, and I go back and look at that poem, and next thing you know, characters are built.
They're popping out. Wow.
Somebody I meet usually act like whatever's in my head, and then I write off of them. Like
Right.
it's a lot of you be like, I know somebody like that. You probably do. I probably seen them. So yeah.
Wow, wow. Well, that is amazing. I love your energy and how you just keep going. I mean, I follow you, and it just so happens I ran into Miss Tanya Banks. I think
Uh-huh.
I had shot you a message at the beauty supply.
Correct.
She was actually stopping there for something, and then she was going to do an event in the neighboring city.
Uh-huh.
And soon as I saw her, I just ran to her like, "Oh my God, hello! I know you, from Miss Tasha." And she's like, "Oh," and I just hugged her. We took pictures, and I believe that the guy that was with her was part of your show as well, The Odd Couple. I think so. I'm not sure, but
I'm
at
not
any rate.
I think he's one of the people she have editing for her
Oh,
on
okay.
projects and working with us.
Okay.
So we all kind of work together in
Yeah,
our
yes.
community. For me, it's like mm, you want the big deal, but it's like it's therapeutic for me.
Yes.
And then it's my release form. Some people do art and draw.
Yes.
I write and create stuff, and if I hit it big, I hit it big. If I don't, I'm still good. Like it's
You still, yes, you just keep it moving, because you know what? I think that you never know when you talk about when you if you hit it big, maybe one of your projects may hit it big now, and then a project that didn't hit it big at one point, it'll pop off in another time. So as you just keep it moving, and it'll just
yeah, as long as you don't focus on the Hollywood stuff,
right.
just have fun and keep your day job because you need money.
Yes.
You have to, yeah, I tell everybody all the time, you got to have that mortgage check or that rent check
The bread and
if
butter,
you're
right?
gonna be in this industry because you can get, you can get picked up and they can drop you
Yes.
after 2 or 3 seasons, and now what? You back to, so
Where
you always got to keep your day job,
yes,
even if you make it big or find a way to create money
yeah,
while you're popular. So you,
yes, yes, and you're right. I think that happens to a lot of people in the entertainment industry and sports, where it will take you to a different place in your life financially, but the foundation is not solid. It can crumble at any time, like you said. You just don't know. So you do have to have that underlining income
and
to support.
you gotta have that humility to be okay
Yes,
with it not be you not being the star or you're not being making that money. You got to be okay with you with your life as it is. So
yes,
I tell people all the time, don't get that money and be living like if you wasn't wearing Louis Vuittons, then don't start buying Louis now because you're gonna be broke with Louis in a minute. That's the reality of it.
yes,
Instead of putting it into a business that can generate more money and more jobs for people in your community and that kind of stuff, I think that should be the focus more so
absolutely.
than materialistic stuff. Like you can't take none of this with you anyway.
No,
So
you can't.
I
Nothing.
think it's about the legacy that you leave behind. And
Yes.
and people think you have to be a big star to leave a legacy. It can be just a small portion of people in your community who's
Yes.
going to remember
Yes.
you years and years after you long gone just by the work that you put in while you're here. So
Exactly.
it's
Exactly.
that kind of um person that needs to be in this kind of business because this business will mess you up. And
Yes.
as you can see, a lot of people are committing suicide and like
Yes.
I what really threw me when Twitch committed suicide, I was just blown away. Like you just the happiest person and dancing all the time.
Right.
But in this industry, and especially in our Black community, and I'm just speaking for us Blacks, that we work hard to from being with nothing to get something.
Yes.
Now you're here and you're telling me you're miserable at this point. That what I mean, the depression should have been when you was poor and had nothing. Now you working, you got stuff on going on, and with that responsibility do come bigger responsibilities.
Yes.
But you have worked your butt off to get there. Now this is the point to say I'm checking out. Like
I know
and I know depression hits people differently. I just think that I think we when we're in this place of trying to make it, we haven't humbled ourselves enough and educated ourselves. If I do make it, what am I gonna do with it?
right.
Not what I'm gonna do for other people or what I'm gonna try to be the Hollywood VIP. What are you gonna do with that? Because it don't last forever.
Right. That's
Um,
right.
he was on the Ellen show and that canceled. So, I think
Right.
people have a hard time dealing with loss of something.
They do. They
And
do.
you have to find a way to deal with it. Just like me losing my daughter, and people are like, "Oh, you just kept going, and you didn't miss a beat." And I said, because as much as I hate her not being here, I know that none of us is leaving here alive. Like
Right.
you have to learn to live with it. So
Yes.
I had to find a place to live with it. Did
Yes.
I eat myself through it? Yes, I did. And I thought nobody would see it till I looked in the mirror and said, "Oh, I didn't gain 40 pounds." Like that's the reality of it. But
Yes.
I kept living through it
Yes.
so I can live with it.
Right.
And that's what you have to do in this industry. Even if a show cancels or you lose a job, it's not the end of the world. It's
Right.
not.
Right.
Something better is going to come. It's just not coming right now, but it's coming.
Yes, and I totally agree with that. When you talk about depression and it does hit people in different ways and really recognizing the core as to what it's about, where does it come from? Because it's just something that sort of travels, and hops from this person to that person. Um, and for me, as let's say an audience watching people, and I've seen, many celebrities, not many, but quite a few that you think that they're so happy, um, and then they commit suicide, and it's like, wow, like what was going on? Like I thought you were on top of the world.
Mm.
But also too, it's communicating, getting the help that you need, talking to people, and help getting them or talking to someone to help you to get out of that, because it's an emotion and it can go away just as quick as it dropped in, right?
Right.
And so I really feel that, like you said, none of us are getting out of here alive, and we all go through loss, grieving, family and close friends and that, and like you said, how it's living with it, and moving forward because it's like they're still there with you. they're just not physically there.
Right.
But depending upon the relationship, you feel them, you feel their spirit, you feel that, at least I can say that for myself in the family members, spouse that I've lost.
Mm.
And I think that you never, it's something that you don't get over, but you learn how to live your life, and
You gotta live with it.
you
That's
do. You
that's you have,
absolutely do.
I said you have to live with it. And I think it's almost it would be wrong not to remember and
Right.
not to you every now and then you're gonna have that dark cloud, that moment of grieving that it never goes away. People keep saying
No,
it's better, I said no, it doesn't. You get
no, it gets more intense as time goes on. In my opinion, in my case, to me,
and you learn to live with the idea that this person is no longer here. Does it mean that when that person's birthday come or the death or the anniversary of their death that doesn't affect you? Those dates, those 2 dates will always affect you for the
yeah,
rest of your life.
yeah,
And you have to find a way to embrace that and live through it in that way. And I think that a lot of people in Hollywood, they are is built on a lot of insecurities.
yes,
They have to finally get at that clique or that agent or that crew that's your yes people. They're always yes, 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 whatever you want. You do
right,
this, do this, do that. And when nobody's calling for you anymore, you don't know what that's like.
right.
And it was like that before you even got big. You
Right.
gotta
They
remember
forgot about that. And
exactly.
they got so big that when the low came, they couldn't deal with it.
You gotta deal with the low and keep
Yes.
and
Yes.
you have to keep that in the back of your mind. Even though I get the awards and I go and I meet people, in the back of my mind, I'm still like, this is temporarily. Like, I don't look at it like, oh, I'm the shit. I just, I don't take it like that. I'm like, okay, thank you. And like, and
Right.
I keep moving because it's just temporary. You're
Right.
going to talk about me tonight.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks from now, you're not even gonna remember who I am. Oh, really, Tasha? Oh, I remember that girl. Like that's how it is in Hollywood. So you
Right.
got to be okay with that. And I think a lot of people are not because they think that once you get an award or once somebody acknowledge you, you're big now. Everybody knows you, and it
Everybody.
doesn't work that way.
No, no, it's not. And really, being a star doesn't keep you from issues that happen in life. It doesn't, just because you're a star, obviously, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be depressed, and it doesn't mean that you're not going to go through things that people go through. It doesn't mean any of that. I mean, you're a human being. So being a star, and I think the way the media promotes celebrities and they put them on this high pedestal
Well,
that
it magnifies your life.
right,
You're under a magnifying glass, so
right,
they
right.
magnify your life. So now the stuff that you would have normally dealt with in private is on a
It's
bigger
on a
scale.
platform. Everybody knows about it.
Everybody know about your problems now. So you ain't got no secrets no more. You ain't got no you
Right.
can't do no more. You can't hide behind mama's skirt no more. Everybody know you can't go to auntie house and be like I'm gonna lay low.
Right.
Everybody know TMZ at auntie house
Right.
laying low.
Right. The
Like
paparazzi is everywhere. They're following you.
you have to be careful what you ask for or what you say you want. And in my boot camp, that's part of what I teach. When you get in this industry, don't get in here to be a star. Get in here because you love the craft of what you do.
Right.
And
Yes.
if you like entertaining and make people do it for that.
Right.
Don't do it for the check. Don't do it for the studios. Don't do it for do it because that's what you love to do. Because it's gonna be a time, well, that's all you're gonna be doing it for.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
you gotta be okay with that. And I have a girl that's 16 and she's like, this is all I want to do. I've been practicing. And she came to boot camp and her mom didn't even know she could act. And I thought she had acting classes. Like she was so good. She said
Wow.
she's been practicing just doing monologues on her own. Like this
Mhm.
is what she want to do. So
Right.
I'm like, by the
She's
time you 21, you're gonna be something else.
yeah,
But I told her, don't lose the innocence. Don't lose, stay humble.
yeah,
Don't let people blow your head up. Like I think you're good and I think you're gonna be a star. Own that, but
right,
realize I'm still just this person and this is just a job.
right.
And it was so funny because I gave her a piece to do and she said it got curse words in it and I don't curse. And I said, okay, just change it to something else. And I was like, you could say hell. Her mama say, she could say heck. I was like, but that's the innocence of her. And I had to explain to her, like, I do a lot of my actors when I write stuff and they be like, Tasha, your stuff's so risque. You want us to go there. And I said, but you're an actor, you're playing a character. It doesn't reflect your real life
Not you, right.
unless that's who you really are. We don't know. It's something about to come out. But but when you playing a character, that's what you are. You're just that character. And that's it. And then when you leave that character at home and you go back to your regular life. So you might be a vegan, but on my show, you got to look like you're eating ribs all day. Some
Right,
pork. You know what I'm saying? That's not who you are, but you're
right.
not going to not take a job because that's not who you are.
Exactly. Exactly.
So those are like the little nuggets I give them in boot camp just to keep them. I want them not to get lost in this game called entertainment because you can be.
Oh,
Like I tell people, if I had came out here in my 20s, I probably would have been drugged out or so. I would have got caught up
because you get caught up in the
yes.
life of it, that you're expected to participate in because you're in that business.
Right.
And as a young person, you unless you're completely grounded, which most people, I will say, well, me in my 20s, I had some sort of grounding, yes, but then when I turned 21, I'm
Lost-
one of those people. I was going out every night.
I lost it.
I partied every single night for probably 4 or 5 years.
Right.
So I know, I know, and I
I
would see these celebrities, yeah, in different clubs. What is it? The Century Club on
right.
Thursday nights, and it was literally celebrity night. And
Right.
and so whatever they were doing, acting or doing a comedy show, whatever, everybody would flock to the Century Club or to the Beverly. There was a club underneath in the, I want to say, the Beverly Center. This was years and years ago. And so, like you said, you get caught up. I was caught up and I wasn't even a celebrity. I was just 21 and enjoying life.
I came out here, that's what it was. It was the sunset room. Everybody went to the sunset room.
Yeah.
Everybody, and I moved out here. I didn't know, so I went to the sunset room, and I was like, "Oh, they're not gonna let people in unless you." So I was like, "I'm gonna get bottle service." So I'm ordering bottles for one person, and then I'm ended up giving it out to strangers, and that's how you get friends because they think you the shit because
Right.
you giving them free drinks, and I'm like, yeah, and this is when I first came out here in 2000. So imagine if I'd have came out here in my 20s. Oh my God, they would have had me out there walking the street somewhere. Because
Uh,
I'm not saying that I didn't know better. I think that you want the palm trees, you want the sunshine, you want the bling bling because they make it look like it's laid back, it's fun, it's
yes.
what you do. You when I came out here, I was like, I went to the bank and I worked at a bank in Michigan.
Mhm.
So Michigan is more conservative. And I came out here, I'm like, they had jeans on and sandals on. So
Wow.
when I went for an interview for my job, when I first came out here, I wore jeans and a t-shirt with a blazer, and the guy that was interviewing me, he was all suited up, and I was like, oh, but I got the job because he was like, I feel like you was interviewing me, but so laid back.
Yes,
I just thought, because all those clothes I bought from Michigan, I had to throw them away. Like they
not
don't wear
applicable
stockings
here.
out here. They don't wear stockings out here and suits. And I had suits galore because I worked at the
Yes.
bank. And I'm going to the club with my suit on, and I'm looking like I'm a church. So I can just imagine. Like I tell people when my grandkids, and I tell them, just do you. You know what's good and what's wrong. And if your friends are doing it and you're uncomfortable with it,
Don't
is nothing
do
wrong
it.
with saying I'm out. You
Don't
know,
do it.
and,
Don't do it.
and
Yeah,
that's it. Don't drink and drive, but don't get in a car with a person that's drinking high or whatever.
right.
You
Absolutely.
always got somebody call you or get a lift or whatever.
Uber. Yeah, see now there's Uber. In my day of partying, there was no Uber or Lyft. I mean, you can catch a taxi, but honestly, it wasn't fly to hop in a taxi. You needed to have, a fancy car or
Somebody had to,
have
yeah,
a friend with a fancy car that you can jump into. Um, but you're absolutely right. And so really, I mean, that the whole point of this is, young people coming up and they see the flash, the Lamborghinis and the jewelry and all of that goes with the celebrity status, but they really don't know the work that's behind it. When artists are in the studio and so they pump, oh, I'm in the studio and I'm doing it. It's hours, like
right.
15, 20 hours in the studio, like you're literally living in there, going over and over a song or trying to perfect it. It's not what people think. And I think that I've had the privilege of watching artists put songs together and that studio time, and they sleep there. They have to sleep on the couch, take a nap, wake up, and start over again. It's really something. So
That's true. And I tell people all the time, just know the craft, know what you're getting into, but stay humble. Stay
yes,
humble.
yes. So, Tasha, thank you so much. That's going to wrap up my time today. And I really, really appreciate you and the work that you're doing. And again, we're going to post up your boot camp. And also, I want to get in touch with you again to talk about your upcoming play that you have. So,
Right.
with that, guys, we're going to sign off. And thank you all so much for watching. And look out for Tasha's upcoming event. Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.